All right, guys, Anthony Distributed Service. TJ's truck. Figured I'd give a little update. Man, I don't know what to say about this input shaft. I had my same situation on mine. TJ, I want you to put your hands on this. It's not horrible. It's not as bad as mine was, but there is a ridge on there. And I've had that exact situation come from South Bend Clutch. Of course, this was years ago, but they had the wrong size pilot bearing and it chewed up the input shaft, and it caused a whole bunch of going into gear issues, caused a lot of issues. So the problem with the input shaft is it's the first part in, last part out. So, yeah, I mean, there's just a hair of a ridge. I mean, it's by no means is it flat. It's not flat, that's for sure. It's got some wear on it, but not catastrophic. Now, I went ahead and I wanted to get the engine out. And before we clean, we're getting ready to clean this all up, and it's time to get it cleaned and painted. Need to find out what we're going to do on the transmission, what we want to do with it, because that's a really big drag. I mean, all right, we got the engine here though. Now we're already planning on rebuilding it. Yeah, so now I don't know if you can tell, it kind of looks like some of the fingers are bent. I know I can't get the phone in there. It looks pretty good. I'm looking at my camera and screen right now. Looking at it by hand, it looks like the top is a little bit further out than the bottom. Which they should be fairly even. I don't know if you can tell. They look pretty good on the camera. I mean, maybe it's just an illusion that I'm seeing, but it looks like they're bent out more here than down here. Like it's not tightened all the way up. Who knows? I mean, if this was my truck, oh look, we got some chunks missing out of the flywheel. I mean, if this was mine, I'd put a Luck clutch back in it, stock, dump all that crap, get rid of it. We are already planning on going in, so the cross hashing, you can see the cross hashing is about gone right here. There's really no cross hashing. Shaded really bad there. So, pretty big shading there. Cross hashing ends about 1 inch down. So, you know, we're already planning on cylinders, pistons, rebuild. I mean, will it run? I mean, just like I've said it before many times, yeah, it'll run. Look, barely, almost non-existent cross hashing up here at the top. So, I mean, there you go, you know. But let's go back here. Let's go ahead and walk back here and I'll show this quick. I mean, I just wanted to show this. Now, I've always ran by if these are those Chinese castings. You know, I don't want to measure the guide without cleaning it, but right now we'll just do a little hillbilly look right here. You see that right there? Now, I don't even need to measure that. We ain't got to get in there and check that. That is sloppy as a mother. Look, I mean, granted, the valve does not open that far, but even there, yeah, that's bad. I mean, that's probably almost 10 thousandths. If you can look at the backing of where the seat's at and kind of, it's probably more than 10 thousandths. Look at the stem wobbling around. Now that, okay, now I've always lived by, if it needs one guide, replace them all, because these are all integral guides. They're a part of the head. So if one of them is wore out and we gotta jig it up and start cutting, just cut them all and get a reset on all of them. Because I mean, a lot of them aren't too bad, but I always run through and just feel them first before we go, just because I mean the gauge is kind of sensitive and I really don't want to send it down in there. I'd rather spray it, clean it up, ultrasonic it, hot tank it, get them nice and clean and brushed out before we check them. But like I said, I'll do this just as a quick hillbilly test just to see what kind of health we've got on it, and it failed miserably. So we're cleaning parts up right now, getting stuff all tore apart. So what I would say would be, let's put a full set of guides in it. We're basically valve job. Let's do the whole thing. I mean it is what it is. Big deal. It don't matter. I mean, if this was just a head gasket job, I'd probably look at just lapping, unless those valves look like that now, or the guides. Once the guides look as bad as that one looks, then we got to cut, because you can't put a guide in it. You have to reset the seat. You got to reset it, otherwise it won't be concentric to everything else. So I mean, there you go. But we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get this broke down and get this cleaning, and then we're gonna get the power washer out again, and we have got to make new, clean this up. But that input shaft, I might go ahead and just lift the transmission out and set it on the ground. We can always put it back in later if we decide to not send the transmission off and have the input shaft done. Yeah, I mean, but bare minimum, I put a Ford clutch in it. I would not mess. I mean, that's just me. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that have had good luck with aftermarket clutches, but I have had 100% luck with a stock clutch, which it's a Luck, L-U-K is the brand. And I mean, they've been good, but you know, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be some clutch out there that's good, but for me to say, hey, you know, this is a good clutch to put in, I mean, I'm going to put a Ford one back in it, or a Luck. I'm going to put that one back in it because I have lots and lots of first-hand experience with those. Now, you know, we could go center force, or, you know, South Bend, we go with anything, whatever. But me, no, I think I'd rather just run with a stock clutch on it. This one has the Kevlar buttons on it. The ceramic on one side, Kevlar on the other, the buttons on the pressure plate. And it had all kinds of massive issues with grinding. It was pretty bad. Hell, I don't know. Quick video, figured I'd show that. I guess we're gonna start cutting the guides out. Probably have Julie make a phone call real quick and make sure everybody's aware, and that's it. But time to break it down. All right, guys, have a good day.